Hello, this is Lucas. Welcome to another CSS video. In this video we are going to be going over padding. Now padding is used to create space around an element's content but it's inside of the border. So the difference between margins and padding is that padding, we create space around an element outside of the border, but with padding it's inside of the border. And I will quickly demonstrate how that is done now. So I have created ourselves, we have two divs here, and I added a bit of CSS, so I just added a border, just so we can, the examples I'm going to give will just be easier to see. So this is what we have at the moment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a bit of padding here, because you can see our text, it's just at our border, but what I want to do is I want to add a bit of space in between here. Right, so the way that we can do that is, so we'll do padding, and then where we want to add padding, so we want to add it on the left, and let's say we want to add ourselves 10 pixels of padding. Now if we refresh this, you can see that there's 10 pixels here of padding that we have added. Now we can do the same thing again on the top. So we can do padding top, we can add 10 pixels. Let's do the same thing for the bottom. Let's do 20 pixels here, and then let's do padding right, and then we can do 40 pixels, sure. And then we refresh, you can see we have added all the padding. Now let's say we want to add padding in all dimensions, so left, top, bottom, right. Instead of doing this, what we can do is we can just have one element here like this, padding, and we can specify it just in one like this. Alright, so the first number that we're going to add will be for the top. Right, the top padding. So let's say we want to have 20 pixels worth of padding for the top, so we'll do 20 pixels. Let's say on the right hand side, then we want to have 10, so we can do 10. On the bottom we want to have 30, so we'll do 30. And let's say on the left we want to have 25, so we'll do 25. So it works like a clock, so we'll start off at the top, then we'll go to the right, to the bottom, and then to the left. So that's the way that works. Now we can go and see. We refresh, you can see we have added the padding. Now let's say we want our sides to have the exact same padding. That means we only have to specify three numbers. This will be the top, this will be the sides, so left and right, and then this will be the bottom. Okay. Now let's say we want to have the top and the bottom the same, right? And we can just do this. So this will be the top and the bottom, and then this will be the two sides. And then obviously if we only have one number, this will be the padding for every single side. So top, right, left and bottom will have 20 pixels worth of padding. Then we can save that, go back, refresh, and you can see that we have the padding. Now the next part I'm going to go over is we're going to introduce width. Now I did use width in my last videos, but I never actually explained it. But I'll quickly go over it now. I will make a separate video on width and height, but for now, let's say we have ourselves this div, and we want this div to be, let's say 400 pixels, right? 400 pixels. Right, this top div here, we want it to be 400 pixels, okay, which we have right now. Let's say we want to add padding into this, right? What's going to happen is, so if we add padding to the, let's add padding to the left. Actually, let's just add padding. Let's add padding. Let's add 20 pixels of padding. What's going to happen here is the width of our div is 400 pixels, but because we added padding 20 pixels to the top, bottom, left, and right, that means the width will increase by 40 pixels because we added 20 pixels to the left and 20 pixels to the right. So now instead of our div being 400 pixels, it's 440 pixels. Now this isn't desirable. We shouldn't allow this to happen, but I can quickly show you what that means. You can see because we added padding, our div width has increased by 40 pixels. You can see how it was before, so let's just remove padding. So this is for this 400 pixels. This is what we want right here. See that? And then whenever we add the padding, it increases like this, but we don't want that. Now there is a very cool thing that we can do. What we can use is, we can use box sizing, and we can do a border box. Now what this does is, it will keep the size of our width, which is 400 pixels, and it will not include the padding as part of our width. So if we go back to our page now, there we go. The padding will still work. So the padding will still work on the left. It will work, so it'll be like 20 pixels padding to the left, right, top and bottom, but it will keep the size of our width. So you can see, even though we have added this, we kept the width. So we kept the width, but we still added the padding on the left, the right, the top and the bottom. So this is very useful to use, and I suggest everyone to use this. So that's about it for this video on padding. I hope you enjoyed, hope it helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.